Welcome to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. I'm your host, Cameron Burrell, Army engineer veteran, entrepreneur, and fleet services operator. On this podcast, we discuss entrepreneurship, business funding, leadership, logistics, fleet operations, marketing, and real-world business lessons designed to help entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses. Let's get into today's episode.
A few years back, I landed a solid subcontract to wash a 200-trailer fleet, my first major prime contract. I was thrilled, drove out the trucks, staffed the crew, and started the job. 2 weeks later, the prime withheld payment because my invoice didn't match a clause buried in their subcontract that I hadn't read carefully. I was locked into extra days of labor and materials without pay, and that mistake cost more than the profit from the job. What I learned from that was simple. Landing a subcontract is only step one. If you want stable revenue without getting burned, you need a playbook for qualifying partners, pricing accurately, proving readiness, and closing the money loop. That's what we'll cover today.
Section 1. Why subcontracts matter and how to find and qualify partners. Subcontracting is one of the fastest ways a solo operator can build predictable revenue. Who benefits? You do, by accessing larger pools of work, smoothing out slow seasons, and avoiding costly customer acquisition. Primes and brokers benefit too, because they get flexible capacity without adding full-time crews.
Common sources are carriers, freight brokers, third-party maintenance primes, and government contractors. Each source has different expectations. Carriers want reliability and DOT compliance. Brokers want fast, documented delivery. Government primes demand strict paperwork and traceable invoicing. So, before you chase work, set minimum deal criteria, minimum revenue per job, acceptable payment terms, geography that suits your routes, and maximum crew hours you'll commit. Decide your red lines in advance. That keeps you from saying yes to any job that looks good on the surface, but breaks your operations.
How to find reliable primes? Start with your network, suppliers, fleet owners you've worked for, and other contractors who can refer you. Use broker platforms cautiously, verify payment history, and ask for references. When a new prime reaches out, ask direct questions. How long have you worked with similar subs? What is your typical payment cycle? And can you share a simple subcontract or statement of work? Red flags include vague scope, inconsistent contact persons, and pressure to start work before a signed subcontract is in place.
Section 2. Pricing to win without killing margins and operational readiness. Pricing is where most solos lose money. Your quote must cover direct labor and materials, plus overhead, mobilization, and contingency. Here's a simple framework I use. Start with your fully loaded labor rate per hour, wages, payroll taxes, benefits, and burden. Add materials and consumables per unit, include a mobilization fee for travel and staging, and add a 10 to 15% contingency line item for unknowns. For example, if your loaded labor rate is $45 per hour, materials $30 per trailer, mobilization $150, and contingency 12%, build the quote line by line so you can justify it to the prime.
Quote on scope when you can. Fixed price for a well-defined job protects both parties. Use time and materials only when scope is uncertain, and then include hourly caps and approval triggers. Don't forget cash flow timing. If a prime pays net 45, but your fuel and payroll are weekly, you'll get squeezed. Push for net 30 or faster, milestone invoicing, or a partial mobilization deposit to bridge the gap.
Operational readiness is the difference between winning and delivering without surprises. Assemble a subcontractor pack that includes current insurance certificates with the right limits and additional insured language, completed W-9, copies of DOT credentials and driver CDL uploads, equipment lists and photos, a basic safety plan, and references. Keep these documents in a single PDF or cloud folder you can send in minutes. When primes ask for proof of readiness, you want to say, "I've got it. Where should I upload it?" Not scramble to find certificates.
Section 3. Contract terms, payment mechanics, and your day one playbook. When you get the subcontract, pay attention to 3 clauses first: payment terms and retainage, indemnity and liability, and termination or suspension rights.
Negotiate to reduce one-sided indemnity and to limit retainage to a small, time-bound amount. Require clear invoicing milestones tied to acceptance of work. For example, invoice on completion of each 25-unit block, with payment due net 30 from invoice date.
Invoicing tips that speed payment. Format invoices to match the prime's purchase order numbers. Include photos and a signed acceptance form per batch. Use concise line item descriptions. And submit via the prime's preferred portal the same day work is accepted. If payment speed is critical, consider short-term invoice factoring or a line of credit to cover the gap, but price those options into your bids so you don't erode margin. Day 1 Playbook. 5 steps to execute the moment a subcontract is awarded. 1. A 24-hour kickoff call with the prime to confirm scope, point people, and acceptance criteria. 2. Send your subcontractor readiness pack and confirm insurance additional insured status in writing. 3. Stage equipment and crew with a clear daily production target and safety checklist. 4. Set an invoicing schedule tied to measurable milestones and confirm the submission process. 5. Establish client touchpoints, a daily field report for the first week, and a single escalation contact for issues. Follow these 5 steps and you dramatically reduce surprises and payment delays.
Recap and motivation. Quick takeaways. Set minimum deal criteria before you bid. Price with a full cost mindset that includes mobilization and contingency. Assemble your subcontractor pack now so you can say yes without scrambling. Negotiate payment terms and limit retainage. And use a day 1 checklist to turn awards into predictable revenue. You don't need to be the biggest player to win reliable subcontracts. You just need repeatable systems and the discipline to enforce your terms. If you treat subcontracting like a process instead of a one-off opportunity, you can scale without sacrificing margins. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network, leave a review, and share it with someone who is building a business, leading a team, or pursuing their next opportunity. Download the subcontractor checklist and one-page intake form on the show page to use this week. The intake form will get your subcontractor pack organized and your day 1 playbook rolling. If you want the one-page subcontractor intake form emailed to you, send a note to the contact on the show page, and we'll get it over. Keep building, keep learning, keep leading. Thanks for listening to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. If today's episode brought you value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another entrepreneur, veteran, owner-operator, or small business professional. Our mission is to help entrepreneurs build stronger businesses, improve their operations, create new opportunities, and achieve long-term growth. Keep building, keep learning, keep leading, and keep moving forward. We'll see you on the next episode.